My parents kicked me out and drained my $12,000 savings. I'm spending my first night on the street and I've never felt more betrayed. I, 24M, am literally typing this from a park bench using free city Wi Fi. My life flipped upside down in less than 12 hours and I'm in total shock. I've been working two jobs for the last 2 years, saving every single cent for my own apartment. My mom convinced me to keep my money in a joint savings account for safety since I turned 18. I was stupid. I trusted her because she's my mother. Today we had a massive fight because I refused to pay for my sister's college tuition again. I already gave them $2,000 last semester. My dad screamed that as long as I live under his roof, my money is family money. I told him no and went to work. When I got home at 8 p.m., the locks were changed. My bags were literally thrown on the sidewalk in trash bags. I went to a nearby motel to get a room for the night, but my card was declined. I checked my banking app. My mom had transferred every single cent, all $12,000, into her private account this afternoon. I went to the police station crying, but they told me that since it was a joint account, it's technically a civil matter and they can't force her to give it back right now. They just took a report. I have $4 in my pocket, no charger, just the clothes in my bag. My parents aren't answering my calls, and my sister blocked me on everything. I'm sitting here wondering how the people who raised me could rob me and leave me homeless over a tuition fight. I've never felt so alone. I don't even know where I'm going to sleep. Tipareth1978 said, Civil matter? Okay, so sue her. First off, there has to be someone you can call right now. Call them, be honest, tell them the whole story, and sue your mom for $20,000. Get help and tell anyone who helps you you'll share some of the payout. Edit. You've paid in the past to your sister's tuition? Sue for $20,000 plus 2 times what you've paid in the past. Difficult Rice 4772. OP, I never thought about promising a payout. I'm just so desperate for help right now. I definitely want to sue for everything they took and more. I'm actually walking to a hotel lobby right now to try and find a charger like someone suggested because I can't let my phone die if I'm going to fix this. I'll look into the $20,000 figure as soon as I'm not worried about where I'm spending the next hour. Thank you for the motivation. Tipareth1978 replied, This sucks. But let me tell you, cunts like this thrive on you being too hurt to fight back. One step at a time, but fuck 'em. Call your nearest thing to a best friend and get inside. Go from there. And of course, pay out someone who might help you. Why not? OP, you're right. They're counting on me just giving up and disappearing. I'm not going to let that happen. I'm almost at a hotel now to try and get some juice in this phone so I can start making those calls. I need to get my head clear and find a safe spot for the rest of the night. I'll fight for what's mine. I just need to survive until morning. Thank you for the reality check. Time for our next story. I fell asleep for 20 minutes during a work call and accidentally gave the best answer of my career. This happened about 3 months ago, and I've never told anyone because I genuinely don't know how to explain it. We were in the middle of a quarterly strategy call. 11 people, 2 hours scheduled, cameras off because our director had said it was audio only for focus. I was working from home. It was 2 p.m. I'd had a terrible night of sleep the night before, and the first 40 minutes of the call were someone from finance presenting data in a monotone voice over a screen share I couldn't see because I was audio only. I don't remember falling asleep. I remember the finance presentation, and then I remember a voice saying, Actually, let's get some thoughts from the product side. What's your read on this? That voice was asking me specifically by name. I have no idea how long I'd been out. My notes from before I fell asleep said 2:14 p.m. My phone said 2:37 p.m. I had been asleep for somewhere between 15 and 20 minutes on a call with 11 colleagues and my director. I did not panic. I think I was too freshly awake to panic. I just said the first coherent thing that came into my head, which was something along the lines of, honestly, I think we've been measuring the wrong thing, and the metric we keep optimizing for isn't actually connected to the outcome we care about. There was a pause. My director said, That's a really interesting framing. Can you expand on that? I expanded on it for about 4 minutes, pulling from things I actually believed about our strategy that I'd never said out loud in a meeting before because I'd always edited myself. Something about being half asleep removed whatever filter I usually apply. Two people followed up with me after the call. My director mentioned it in our next one on one as a strong contribution. A version of what I said made it into the next strategy document. I have never told anyone I was asleep. I take very detailed notes in every meeting now and keep an extra strong coffee next to my laptop at all times. I also genuinely believe what I said was right, which somehow makes the whole thing worse. Purple underscore guava. Almost the same thing happened to me when I was in the military. As a young non commissioned officer, our first sergeant would hold professional development meetings every so often. During one of these, I happened to doze off, and all I heard before waking up is, "Who do you think suffers because of that, Sergeant Purple underscore Guava?" I knew he called on me because he saw me dozing off, but before I could think, I responded with, "Our subordinates." He glared at me for a few seconds, and then said, "That's correct, everyone. Your subordinates." Better believe I stayed awake after that, Lowell. On to the next one. I created a fake employee at my old corporate job and collected his salary for 3 years. Back in 2018, I worked in middle management for a really bloated logistics company. My boss was completely checked out and basically let me handle all the hiring and payroll approvals for my small remote team. We had a guy quit without notice, and instead of reporting it to HR right away, I just kept him on the roster and changed his direct deposit to a different bank account I had. I thought I would do it for like a month just to get an extra paycheck because my rent was super high and I was drowning in debt, but nobody noticed at all. After a few months, HR did a system update, so I panicked and actually created a whole new identity for the guy. I renamed him Marcus in the system and gave him a fake employee profile. Whenever we had Zoom meetings, I would log in on my personal laptop with the camera off and just type in the chat as Marcus saying his mic was acting up. The crazy part is, I actually had to make sure Marcus hit his quotas so I didn't get caught. His job was mostly just data entry and formatting spreadsheets, so I literally paid a guy on Fiverr like 15 bucks a day to do all of Marcus' daily tasks. Marcus actually got recognized by upper management once because his spreadsheet accuracy was perfect. I collected his 65,000 salary for 3 years on top of my own. I only stopped because we got bought out by a bigger company in 2021 and they demanded in person meetings for the merger transition. I made Marcus send a really angry resignation email about corporate culture, and he quit on the spot. I bought my first condo with Marcus' money. I still get paranoid about the IRS or someone catching up to me, but honestly, it was the easiest money I ever made, and the company was making billions anyway, so I don't even feel bad. MCJON77. You are confessing to committing textbook embezzlement on Reddit. Ghost employees is a classic form of embezzlement, second only to fake invoices. And for our final story, my husband told me my brain is fucked. Just kind of a vent. My mom is pretty much a textbook narcissist, and we spent the weekend with her. My husband was paying attention to her behavior and mine, watching the usual patterns, observing quietly. This morning, she called me to yell at me about how she doesn't know how her headlights work in her car. She's had the car for 3 years. I gave it to her. I always give her my cars when I get a new one. She said, "I never know when my headlights are on, and sometimes I drive at night and don't realize they're off, and I'm driving in the dark. Don't touch my switch." It's a simple switch, clearly labeled. It isn't a new car by any means, not confusing at all. She's in her 60s. In addition to that, my husband has been working on both of our cars all weekend, doing maintenance. She needs tie rod ends, and he does everything for free. She doesn't even pay for parts. This was probably the smallest of things that happened this weekend. I just thought this one was a little funny. When we got off the phone, I laughed about how it's my fault that she doesn't understand headlights. He didn't laugh. Instead, he got kind of serious and said, "Your brain is just fucked from being raised by that. You're not annoying. Everything is not your fault. You didn't do anything wrong." He's not wrong, but ouch. Now I can't stop thinking about all the ways my brain is fucked. I'm tired. RON0SKU OP. You need to start getting your husband input on things between you and your mother. Listen to what he has to say as a third party and especially stop accepting calls from your mother. They seem to be stressful and completely useless. Salsa underscore spaghetti OP. I'm so lucky to have such a wonderful husband. I just didn't realize he thought my brain was fucked until this morning. Due season 6425. It really sounds like you have a great husband who is on your side. Cherish him and don't overthink his comment. Living with someone like your mother can really do a number with your self esteem. All he really did was point that out. Salsa underscore spaghetti OP. He is wonderful, supportive, and caring, the perfect amount of stern and gentle. I agree, my self esteem is pretty trashed, and I'm thankful he pointed out that it isn't all my fault.